Please tell me Weiss is looking to step down.
I have no idea why.
Am I on drugs, or was there a discussion about a pending court case and a discussion about an opinion on the validity of it, etc., 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 that I overheard?
Oh, absolutely. In front of the prosecutor and then also the presiding judge.
And with 4 of the 5 justices present.
Oh, yeah. And one of the justices expressing a very strong opinion about it.
Are they retarded? Like,
I
genuinely?
don't think they understand conflict of interest at all.
There's, it's like, don't you just get that from, like, paying attention to, like, television and books and, like, other things?
I think so, right? Like, I mean, like...
I'm going to be honest with you, Grayson. I overheard that, and I don't know why I would ever want to go to a court case ever again.
I mean, look at the system, right? Like, look at right. I
this
know
was literally what happened to Soze. I know you weren't here. I think when Soze went to trial, he literally called this out. This exact thing. And I sat there and I'm like trying to I was in such bewilderment, wondering what the hell I was just like overhearing. And then it occurred to me, Soze, when he had his charges pressed against him, he said this in open court. He's like, did you guys come here with an opinion already? What the fuck is the point of presenting a case? And it turns out that they did, and it's still here. And I'm just like, how? What is causing this? Where is that? Is there like a hand? And I even called out McNee. I said, what the hell was that? And furthermore, why are they even here? What if this went to an appeal? What if, as McNee was so conflicted anyways as a signatory on the raid and whatever, is that now they can't even fucking preside over it?
I mean, like, before that even started, before Fred arrived late, I literally told Falcon, because Falcon had made a joke about McNee presiding over this, even though we were being sued. And I was like, dude.
What was the joke?
So, like, Falcon has said something about, aren't we all conflicted because we're being sued by Pred? And I was like, dude, that whole court case is because McNee signed a fucking warrant. What are we talking about? Like, if anyone's conflicted, it's McNee. Like, they don't get it. They this time, look at the legislation they've passed, right? Look at the recent one, the Marshal legislation that just went in, right? Tell me you don't understand conflict of interest by just showing me a piece of documentation.
Brother, they do not have what it takes to even have a fucking bar license. It's actually insane. It's actually fucking insane.
The Marshals are an issue, right? The Marshals are an issue in that the Department of Justice, having a law enforcement agency, they have direct control over. Every time a marshal presses a charge and it has to go to court, the justices are inherently conflicted because they have an overarching interest in the marshals looking competent. Right? Because they pick the director. But then literally making the Department of Corrections something too provides an interest for the justices, not only to make it look like the warden's working, but that the system's working, which means keeping the populations heavy in. So it's
and requiring a unanimous vote on the director. These people are fucking stupid.
It's also a unanimous vote on the warden too, right? So literally, you've got a law enforcement agency who is arresting and charging people, right? Who go to jail, ostensibly. A jail now which is run via the Department of Justice justices.
Yeah.
So if they're getting paid from the state,
DOJ
how much of their paycheck is for remuneration for their oversight of the Department of Corrections? How much of their paycheck is remunerated from each individual who is currently serving time in Bolingbroke, right? How much of the state's funds are going to them for those reasons? So
it's
actually there isn't an interest in them convicting, and not just convicting, but convicting on longer sentences to keep the population in Bolingbroke higher. They don't understand the conflict of interest.
It's actually fucking insane.
It's totalitarian. We're getting there.
Well, it's authoritarian at minimum.
Yeah. Oh, at minimum. Right? You read that, and it's not only that, right? It's the little things. It's like, I don't know if you noticed, they redirected correctional officers into law enforcement officers. Right? They changed the Department of Corrections into a law enforcement agency.
It is so astounding to me because at the end of the day, they can't do shit, right? If I snap my fingers, that entire building would burn down.
It's grotesque and it terrifies me, and I don't think anybody who had any civil law training whatsoever or an idea of like fighting constitutional law or rights would ever have written that piece of legislation. And the fact that Scotty hasn't got a job right now is deranged.
That is so insane. I don't know what the hell happened. This is so bad.
Oh, top to bottom. But it's everything, right? So it's like we look at this and we look at what the Reformation in July was about, right? You know, if it's not written down, we don't do it. So everybody knows what their rights are. Everybody knows what they should be facing. Like, I'm currently like they're challenging that hot gun thing I did, right?
That
so
shit pissed me off. You instantly got dragged through the mud publicly over it. And then they're like, let me go and just like write case law against the opposite of the rule. Like, hello? Like, Grayson, like this is why I have no remorse of saying shit like this. You could literally go on ChatGPT and be like, how does case law work? Like, if you needed to, but they haven't even done that in 6 months.
We talked like I could write affirmative defense legislation and, you know, get it voted on. It'd be okay. But they have no interest in doing it that way, Nino.
But it's insane. I was going to do it for them like a month ago, me and Turner. And they said, no, that's in our purview, Nino. It's not. It's
within your purview, right? Like, as a citizen. But it's a land grab for power, right?
They told me, and I don't think you were at this meeting, they told me that the reason why they need to put all these charges of the penal code charge is because everyone's a felon. That they need to do that because everyone's a felon. It tells you these guys are fucking insane. They belong in like, they do not belong in a democratic society. They don't.
They don't think that, well, they're not. Because they're not voted on. They're appointed and then they're protected. And as long as they never break up that monopoly and they never bring anybody in who could possibly vote against them, they always will be. But this is it, right? This is what I'm saying. Like, their purview right now, like, okay, so they're challenging the hot gun thing in court, right? I instantly entered on my own defense and I put up motions to dismiss on 2 counts. But the first one is statute of limitations, right? They posted this. They posted this appeal like 20 something days after I'd motioned, right? If you look at like due process, the legislation, there's 2 ways you can appeal. You can appeal criminal charges 30 days after you are charged, or you can appeal a judicial decision, a judicial motion, up to 15 days. It's automatically out of statute of limitations because I ruled on that case and over 15 days later they appealed it.
And it makes it worse because the thing is, they didn't file an appeal. Unless Turner was mistaken, they didn't do an appeal. They tried to do some shit that doesn't exist in our
it's a judicial review. There's nothing in due process about it
exactly.
At all, right?
But even if they do a judicial review, that doesn't allow you to create case law over it.
No, it doesn't.
And even furthermore, they're doing it after I taught them. Literally, I had to teach Faulkner and Arcadia what case law was, which is fine, right? To point it out, I've not a problem with that. But part of the problem was I said they would do an appeal, right? That an appeal doesn't necessitate that that there's two kinds of appeals. One, you can do an appeal where there would no be where new evidence has presented itself, where that case, like you know what I'm saying, like a new angle of evidence that wouldn't get affected by the
which is fine for a defendant appeal, right?
Right.
But this is a prosecutorial appeal based on a mistaken law.
Exactly.
What they're attempting to do.
But having explained that to them utilizing it as a means to get to case law inherently means they're predetermining what they are an outcome, and they don't understand. Like, I don't understand. I genuinely do not understand how that concept cannot be understood. This is like elementary level shit.
So here's my issue. My issue is due process says that because I put in that motion, this should just be fucking dismissed, right? Because it is actively factually outside of the statute of limitations. It should just be dismissed. But we both know that they have a vested interest in a different outcome.
We smart.
So am I going to get... And here's the thing. I'm not facing any repercussions, right? It's not about that. It's about will they follow their own fucking rules?
Boost Cruz!
Will they follow their own rules? Or because they have a vested interest and they already have an outcome they want, are they going to deny due process to get what they want here?
They are. They're pretty much... They're saying it out loud. Right?
Yeah, and they're not hiding it from anyone.
They're not hiding it. I don't know what the fuck is going on. I don't know. Fucking Jesus. Fucking Christ.
No, it's rough right now.
They stood in that courtroom actively discussing God knows what. I'm going to go through the fucking docket and try to figure out what the hell they were referencing. Do you know what case they were referencing?
In regards to...
the fucking discussion they were having over at the... over the bench before the Pred style started.
It's one of the ones that Danielson just picked up. So it's either Benny Razor or
Danielson was sitting there though.
Yeah, it was. That was why I told him to fuck off into the corner. I'm like, yeah. I know. I feel the same way. That's why I'm so gripping this fucking pole so hard.
Don't show up on Friday to work. I'm only kidding. Oh man.
Yeah, no, he was one of them. That's why Danielson went and stood in the corner, because you know. And then I followed him over and told him, "Don't listen to a fucking word they say. Make your own fucking mind." But like, that's ridiculous. I like Sean. I think Sean's got loads of potential. But he's in a system right now where...
Absolutely agree.
Yeah. And I feel for Ava and Jaina and people like that who come from like different sections.
He's going to get brainwashed.
Oh, yeah. He's gonna end up feeling entitled to make decisions he can't and shouldn't make because they all do. Same with Jaina, right? Like, I think she like, again... Who knows what the fuck they're gonna do with her? But like,
she's
like
getting abused straight up. She's got a lot of rough edges. She clearly wants training.
She has a legal background, but she wants it. Yeah, and that's the main thing.
It's and I feel like she's hyper getting scapegoated, hyper scapegoated, and which is actually insane. Imagine getting elected, but then like you're being directed. You know what I mean? Something
being directed,
like, oh boy, I can't get into it.
Okay,
but
like she should be trained, she should be guided a little bit. But like, I'm gonna be real, I didn't like the way they tried Ava in her first term either when she got elected. Like, they were not ready to fucking just appoint her, despite appointing everybody else who even applied.
There was something I wanted to bring up to you, and it's escaping me. I remember... God damn it, what was it? It's going to make you jump out of your skin. Oh, fuck. I was told by a judge that they weren't going to push these charges, this case on Pred.
I'm getting a call from Arcady. Give me 1 second.
And that person who's calling you Strongly encourage the PD to push the charges.
Jesus Christ. Hello. She's gonna do it then. Fantastic. That's a good call. She's more than competent. Okay. No problem. Bye. Okay. Interesting.
I just got that tidbit that they push this towards, and I'm just like, bro, like, I don't understand. I just don't. I don't know. I don't know. I genuinely don't know.
Like, literally, if you could get anybody to say that in a court of law, that's an impeachment. Judicial oath, it's breach of oath. Remain neutral. It's the inherent part of the job. There's nothing else about it. That's all you've got to do. Fucking distance yourself. Don't get involved. Don't have an opinion. Walk away when people start talking about shit.
How cooked is it when justices sat in on this case today? Who do they think that it's going to appeal to?
Yeah.
It could have appealed. Yeah. They don't know the outcome yet. Wait, maybe they do. I don't fucking know.
That's the fact that they were all. When's the last time you saw that many justices, right? I don't think it was intentional. I think people showed up for the entertainment value and then fucking like looked around and were like, oh shit, we're all here.
Nah, come on. Come on, dude. Come on. That's their role. Listen, Grayson, that is way too, you're being way too nice. That's like saying, there's a massive shootout in Cyprus with the PD, and, I was already here, so I figured I'd pull into the middle and just start watching, with my gun out, you know what I mean? In case I got shot, or
you have no idea how many times I just walk away from things just because I hear a word and it's like I get it. They haven't been trained to do that.
Brother, I do the same when it comes to PD information.
Job. Yeah, it's a job, right?
Oh my Lord.
I'm so frustrated, but I don't want to lose total faith, but like every conversation I hear at the moment is like not good. It is not good. When I was a marshal, right? And I had these conversations with people who were like, dude, the system's cooked. This is fucked. It's all power in the hands of two people. It's never going to get any better. It's going to get corrupt. And I was like, you know what? I'll give it a go and I'll try and I'll see if they can pull this shit. Bailey was the warden at the time. And I was like, look, Bailey's end goal here is to appoint a warden and then step the fuck away, right? Like I knew that about Bailey.
Actually step away.
Yeah, actually step away.
Yeah.
But they've just entrenched legislation to make it worse and worse and worse. Like where we are, like 5 or 6 months later on down the line, looking at the legislation right now, it is in a worse place than it ever was. And I can't see, all they've got to do right now is arrest Kale Soze again, and then we're nothing will have changed. That's what we're literally back where we started.
No, they're gonna arrest the governor this time.
Christ.
They're gonna be like, you're not in the Constitution. Fucking marshals, get him. I don't know.
And then he goes to jail, and the Department of Corrections starts, spam charging him with things that he did inside the jail so they can keep him there eternally so that, they've always got a prisoner. It's deranged. It's all deranged. And it's all broken. And I don't get there. Have they just not thought about it? Or is this all... Okay. You say I'm being naive with them, right? Is this they don't understand? Or is all of this they do understand and they are actively the villains?
It's I think it's a mix of a lot of things. I think it's lack of education, right? On the role. And that comes with it, lack of training, etc. Who do they go to, right? It's probably Hart who's giving them all the kinds of dumb things to right? Think about it. She common denominator between Soze's case way back when and who's still here, right? Who are you going to question?
Yeah.
If like the longest tenured person is someone who is the result of a whole constitutional change, you know what I mean? Is the reason.
I don't know if there's ever been a judge who had more mistrialed cases. I'm going to be real.
Yeah.
Like the entire time.
Exactly. So I think it's that, but then because the ignorance is convenient, right? It makes their life easier, and look at the benefits that come out of it. You get to pretend you're God.
Uncontested ultimate authority.
Mm-hmm. Uncontested authority by being stupid. You know what I mean? It's like I used to see it in crews all the time, right? You'd have like the goon who acts dumb because then they don't need to have to handle responsibilities because people will be like, oh yeah, we can't give it to them.
Keep expectations low.
Yeah.
Terrifying. Like the DOJ used to be full of like not even people I agreed with all the time. Like me and Bailey went head to head a million times, right? But like me and Crane used to butt heads daily. But like if I wasn't around, I wasn't worried the city was going to set on fire, you know?
Yep.
Because at least they were competent, right? They had a level of competence and understanding that they understood that like while I might not agree with every legal position they held, there was a level of competence involved.
Ooh.
It's rough. It's rough, though.
Yeah. All right, Grayson. I got to get going. It's
I'll let you go.
All right.
Stay safe.
I still plan on that senator thing.
Yeah, I'll talk to Michael at some point.
Yeah. Well, he's dealing with some things right now. He should be around the end of the week. But there just needs to be some court change. It's breaking the culture, is what it is at the end of the day.
There's some systemic bullshit that needs to happen, right? Like how people get in power, why they get in power, and then what power they can like co-opt after that fact. There are departments that just need wholesale removing from the root and like empowering to be their own. Like Department of Corrections needs to be attached to nobody else.
I wholeheartedly agree. Or to all the bodies. It's another option, right?
Yeah.
All right. You stay safe.
Okay. You too.